New awakening for Daniel, as well as a new devil letter, giving us a taste of Season 43 major stat revamp. And now here in this video, we're going to be going over the patch notes with the game kinggodcastle 5.3.4, and it's around that time again. Look at this new side art, boys. I am so freaking hype about it. Look, I know you guys are loving it, man. I hope you guys are loving it as much as I love it. You got the Zabai lightning god, and you got the Ren over there. It is so good. This is the, this is just a taste of the key art. I have collaborated with Lave again to bring you guys some new visuals to the channel, and it's all thanks to you guys, and it is sick. I love it. I know I'm blocking Zabai here, but in the future, you guys can see more of it. This is a patch note kind of like style, so enough of that. I can't get over this freaking art. I'm so freaking excited about it. Let me know what you guys think about it, because I love it. Anyways, back to the update. All right, so Dandelion gets a new awakening ability. This is just the patch notes, okay? This is, it's not where we want to go for the dev letter, okay? So tempering, this is just more of everything that she has, more of the healing, more of the drain, more of the protection. She loses the awakening one, like the Daniel's stun thing, right? But yeah, this one is actually pretty good. More of her utility than what she has, right? I mean, like, would I give up I guess you do give up some damage, but I don't know. I would have to play around with this, but like 100% more healing, drain, more tankiness for Dandelion. I think I'm all for it. Like, she still keeps the exposed weakness and things like that. You could argue like, oh, awakening one, you kind of like lose the attack debuff on it because you have to consume it, right? But like it will get reapplied or whatever. But you give up some damage, but to be honest, it's not too shabby in my opinion. So only Dandelion can be, doing Dandelion things. So this is improved. So there's a lot of, quality of life. So, when you have to merge heroes and then you have to pick the new 3 items that to go on your new unit, right? Like, and you don't know which one, like say for example, you have 2 bows and then one of them's plus attack count, and then you have to choose which one, right? And sometimes I don't freaking understand what order it goes, but you're like, it's 50-50, and then you end up picking the wrong 50. It's so frustrating. So I don't know why it wasn't a thing in the beginning, and now you can actually view the affixes, when you select the 3 items, which is very good change. Bug fixes, and then there are some product changes, whatever, unlock with a certain castle level, and then that is about it. And right now, Saras is actually banned from competitive in season 42, and not a lot of people are happy about that, but that is interesting. It's not really stated here, but we have to go straight into the dev letter, boys. Straight into the dev letter. So season 43 major stat revamp. Now, a lot of this is just a lot of like mumbo jumbo terminology, so it's a lot of reading, not much visuals, and it can kind of be a slog. So we're gonna kind of go through it briefly. I'm gonna go through it fast, try to do it as fast as possible, because it is kind of a snooze fest. So pretty much, does everybody know the new progression? So if you guys have been under a kinggodcastle rock and waiting for the next new hype thing or next new chapter, when they introduce Invasion Season 2, they tease that the current level and the current things in the game aren't enough for the heroes to be able to clear the later chapters or the later content that they're going to be introducing in Invasion Season 2, Corruption, whatever, right? So in conjunction with that, they are planning to implement a new progression like content, whether that be a level cap raise or a new relic system, or what I personally want is like a freaking gear gacha, and you gotta slot the gear gachas with like gems or something with like stats. We'll get to that later, but that's my theory. That is what I want. I don't think that's gonna really happen, but it'll be insane if it does. But that is what this is what we're talking about here, right? So season 44. Right now, it's season 42 as we're recording this video. Season 44 is when that is supposedly going to happen. It is the massive new content update right here that I'm highlighting. But in the next season, okay, the season in between season 43, they are doing a major stat revamp first before the massive new content update hits for season 44. Are you guys following me? So that is all what they are doing here, and that is kind of what they're talking about, is this major stat revamp. So like they're trying to pretty much address the stat discrepancy first before they roll out this thing, whatever it is, bro. I have theories. I'll save it to the end. But direction of the major revamp. Basically, this is just saying, hey, this is how far we've gone. 55 heroes. I remember when it was just like the core roster. There wasn't even 2 pages of heroes, guys. Okay, so that wasn't even filled up. I remember those days, and it is kind of crazy to see how many freaking heroes there are now. 3.5 years. That's kind of insane, boys. But yeah, so they are saying, hey, this is how far we've gotten, and these are the 2 revamps that they're doing. Adjustments to stats with unintuitive calculation methods, addressing lacking aspects or limitations in the current stat system. I know, guys, so exciting. I'm telling you, it can get a little snooze festy. All right, I'm trying to break this down. All right, so basically, if you guys been playing for a while, you know that there is some really wacky calculations happening, and numbers sometimes don't add up, and all this mumbo jumbo, and some of the stuff. Most of it has been figured out over time, but in the early days of King God Castle, this crap just did not make sense sometimes, and basically they're fixing that, okay? And they are saying, we aim to organize and adjust these unintuitive and heavily exception-laden stats that require complex calculation. So basically they're trying to streamline this stuff. They're trying to take out a lot of the mumbo jumbo, recode it or whatever they're doing, and kind of streamline it, right? And that is basically all they're saying in a nutshell. Addressing lacking aspects or limitations of the current stat system. So this is the current stat system that they're talking about. So like for example, so the stats being like attack speed, attack, spell power, and the HP now, right? And what they're saying is that it's like a balance between these two. So like attack speed is a stat that not only affects attack and MP recovery speed, because attack speed is directly correlated with MP gain, right? Because MP gain is auto attacks and you get MP back when you auto attack and stuff like that. So attack speed is like correlated with that. And they're saying that is basically, on the other hand, HP stat can only receive a slight adjustment through like damage reduction effects and things like that. So they're kind of like, oh, HP is not that crazy good as opposed to like attack speed, and that kind of thing, right? That's why you always see usually attack speed stats and then spell power stats, because a lot of it is just, it's always good. Attack speed is always good, and it's always been. I mean, in most cases it is, but it's just them stating that, hey, we kind of want to level the playing field a little bit, not make attack speed so OP, and kind of give some love to HP, and that's basically what they're doing. And they're doing this through this stat revamp, like they said. And then of course there's a little disclaimer here: despite our efforts to maintain consistency in the gameplay experience post stat revamp, okay, so once they implement this crap, there may be differences in how some heroes, relics, runes, and strats operate due to the removal of exceptions or the merging of stats. So the things right now currently in the game that we know, in the future it might change, and it's kind of interesting to just think about, because in season 42, guys, I foresee a King God Castle that plays extremely different, and I'm excited to see what it is, because I've been playing this game for a long time, and when things are changing this much, I get excited, because I played back in the day where it's like, this will never freaking change. It will take forever, because we send in a bug report and it doesn't ever get addressed, and then it would take literally months or years to even get that thing addressed, right? And it's just crazy how it's gonna, I mean, that's the old me, the boomer talking, the boomer talking. So in this regard, we try to balance this with the next progression system. So redefining damage types and triggers. So damage types, so basically, they kind of progressively touched this in the past, like, how like they were trying to differentiate like damage and the special damage and all the white damage and all this crap. They basically touched it in the past, and then now they're trying to refine it more, make it more black and white, less of gray. So basically, damage right now indicated as usually red. They're pretty much like its terminology, right? So red is physical damage, right? Blue will be spell damage, and then white will be special damage. And you guys can read like the reasonings yourselves. I'm just kind of glossing over it because it's a lot of redundancy if you've been playing. But so pretty much they're making it more black and white, more distinguishable, right? Red physical, blue spell, white is now special. And then now damage inflicted by skills will be categorized as skill damage. And then while damage inflicted by normal attacks will be categorized as normal damage. So by doing this, the coloration of damage indicators no longer distinguishes between skills and normal attacks. So it's either physical or spell. Like now, like skills and normals aren't included in this physical spell coloration, and then it causes confusion. And it's like, well, it's a skill, but like it does physical and all this stuff, right? So they're trying to distinguish it more. Then on top of that, you have this upon using skill, and then upon on a normal attack, and then upon dealing normal damage. So all of it to say is that they're trying to clarify it a bit more and streamline. Okay, that's TLDR. I mean, you know, you guys can read it yourself. Link with down in the description below, but that is TLDR. Making it more black and white is how I would summarize it. Now they're organizing the concept of coefficients for stats and skills. So this is basically when the numbers don't really match up with like Leica's. They even talk about it. Yeah, here it is. Like Leica's Awakening with Obsession. The displayed spell power is 1.4 times more than it should be. This happens because their skill damage scales with 0 times the spell power and 1.4 times the spell power respectively. So it's like this displaying coefficient stuff that they're cleaning up. So like whenever you see a coefficient, you're like, I don't have the numbers aren't matching up. They're cleaning it up. Okay, aka cleaning up. That is the summarization. All right, so now we have a new stat, defense. Now this is a new thing that they're going to be adding in place of essentially damage taken reduction. So you think about like Giant Altar, for example. Giant Altar has an effect called damage taken reduction. They are pretty much replacing that with this new thing called defense. However, there are exceptions to be maintained in cases where is it final damage reduction. That you'll still see that terminology, but effectively most of it will be changed to defense. So for example, all of this, so like any awakening abilities, potentials, etc., monster skills, monster effects, they'll all be modified accordingly. So you'll be seeing this defense thing appearing like on your armor fixes and things like that. And obviously there's defense, physical defense, and then spell defense as well. So it's a new stat, boys. I don't know. I don't know. Apparently it's supposed to be better. I have no freaking clue, boys. You guys can tell me. You guys can tell me. Changes to effects. So now they are changing. So like in line with like all of this defense shenanigans, they are adjusting the effects of certain things, which this is when it starts kind of getting interesting, okay, in my opinion. So changing alter effects were providing diminishing returns as the size of stats and King God Castle increase. So they are completely overhauling the stat calculation method. The effects of alters will be modified accordingly. So the level 5 effect for Alter Blood, HP by a certain percent of attack will now be a percent of final attack. Giant will be changed to this range of defense, and then the level 5 giant will be this final HP, so it's percent HP and things like that. It will feel this will definitely feel a lot better for sure. And then alter mage level 5 effect, so no more MP when hit. That's kind of interesting. Like this has been here forever, and it's kind of now it's gonna feel weird not to have this on mage setups, but you do get some final spell power, which is nice. This is nice. I'll tell you that this is definitely better, but it is weird to not have MP when hit. But I do have theories. What this could insinuate. So equipment effects. Now this is when it gets a little freaking crazy. There are greater disparities between the effects. Additionally, with the addition of the defense stat and due to the existing differences between effects, we are planning to modify these equipment effects. Now this is kind of insane, boys. So a sword, okay? These are your items that you get during runs and all that shenanigans. These are your affixes that they're changing. So this becomes more attack percentage. Cool. Chain attack, it changes to 50% special damage to 3 enemies upon dealing normal damage after using skill. So this is kind of less crazy now, because before you could just stack chain attack. you can still do it, but it's just not gonna be as crazy, right? So when stack damage is increased instead of the number of targets increasing. Yeah, so it's like worse. It's like worse. You can still do it, but it's not gonna be as insane as before. If I'm reading this right, you guys can tell me, but if I'm reading this right, it's not gonna be as insane before, because before you can just stack chain attack, and it's freaking crazy, dude. If you guys ever done it before. So, and then reduce incoming damage to 10% is, of course, that's equivalent to 100 defense. So there's just terminology. Now this is the crazy thing. No more percent stun on normal attack on swords. It just blows my mind. It's been like this for so long. This is insane. No more percent stun. Now, I do have theories on why this is. I'll save it to the end, but they're changing it to 300 to physical defense, which, yeah, you know, let's be honest. We like that percent, that stack and percent stun. Now, this is kind of crazy, okay? So for armor, it's more HP, you know, defense, okay? So now you get the 300 spell defense. That makes sense. And now they're adding a new effect, plus 300 physical defense raw to the armor. Makes sense. And then bow, they're increasing the attack speed. And they're changing the split to lower damage, right? To lower damage, 20% special damage to 2 enemies upon dealing normal damage. They are making it worse. Right? Am I reading that? Yeah. It's worse. Right? I mean, let's be honest. Split is very popular, so they made it worse unless there's something in the calculation that says otherwise. But lower percentage means worse, right? You know that. You guys can tell me. You guys can tell me. Chain attack to 2 enemies after using skill. This is the same chain attack change as with the sword. And then this is the slowdown effect that no one really likes, to be honest with you. Now they're changing it to defense shred, which is kind of interesting. Defense shred on bows. I am curious if monsters or like raid bosses or things like that, if they have a base defense that can be shredded. you guys know what I'm getting at here. So like, can you shred defenses of bosses? Probably not. But defense shred, essentially. Staff, more spell power. This is changing to defense. This is the same defense shred. And then here's the new effect: increases the defense of the target the user provided a beneficial effect to for a certain amount of time, which is kind of interesting. So you have this like buff defense. This effect is interesting. I gotta give it to them. This effect is very interesting. You could do like, I don't freaking know, Alberon, and your team is super freaking tanky, right? Like the first thing that I think of is put this staff like with this effects on an Alberon, put Marjorie, put a bunch of tank units, and then freaking use a giant comp. This note is actually pretty important too. Due to the above changes, save progress from the season 43 patch and before will not be accessible in season 44. Data such as Great Rift will also be reset, so please take note of this. So make sure you guys finish your Great Rift runs or whatever before the season 44 patch, because they're going to be resetting all of that, because whatever they have in store with for us, it ain't carrying over, boys. And other major changes, basically they're restructuring like actions, CC, a bunch of minor changes. Let's just go through this real quick to see. Invincibility effect is now limited to HP does not change, and thus CC can now be applied. So you can still CC people that are invincible. So like Tayback is one that slowly comes to mind, right? The bewitching effect, which is the chapter, the vampire chick, that charms you, is defined as an effect that turns the unit into an ally for a certain period of time. As bewitched heroes are considered as enemies, they are not affected by effects like Merciless Awakening ability that removes crowd control on allies. The provocation effect changes the target of the enemy's attack to oneself, and it is now a one-time effect without a duration. As a result, skill description for heroes such as behemoths, etc. have been updated. There's a bunch of little changes. Hold on. Let me skim through, boys. Are there any interesting ones? Hold up. Extra attack speed and extra movement speed have been changed to attack speed exceeding. Okay. Hella's level 8 potential ability made her maximum attack speed 200%. However, applying the I like this one. This is an interesting highlight. This has always been a freaking problem forever. So basically, her level 8 potential ability is the one that lets her skill cast time scale with attack speed. Correct. So when you use a mask relic on Hella, the mask unit cannot reach the 1.5 second cast time because it's 75%, right? And they are essentially changing that, if I'm reading this right. Yeah, this can now be applied up to 1.5 seconds. Yeah, they changed it, right? Hella fans. You can have a mask Hella that reaches the minimum the cast time. That's amazing. I mean, this might be a small cool nod. This one's actually a long time coming. Hella fans. While other heroes potential were all multiplicative, Victoria was an exception. Oh yeah, it was additive, wasn't it? And then they are changing it to be multiplicative. You're freaking crazy. Numerical balancing is planned to be implemented. Freaking Victoria now she's gonna be one-shot fools way more than she was. You thought she was crazy before. She's gonna be multiplicative. This is kind of big. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of big. Normal attacks triggered through. Okay. Joel's stuff, I guess, if you guys care about Joel. And then piercing, or you guys can read through. This is some Evan shenanigans. This is normalization stuff. Some interesting things. We apologize. So now there's like a little tidbit. We apologize for the inconvenience due to the recent maintenance work for existing content being delayed as a developed team focusing on preparation of this stat revamp and new progression system. Although some members of the dev team has been continuously working on the strat battlefield stabilization and optimization processes, they have been able to address only minor issues, and we understand that is not enough to resolve the core issues. Man, I feel like this strat battlefield thing is going to take so long. Please, I just hope that they just get this over with so they can focus on other things. And I do want to see, this is one of the most fun roads in my opinion. I know it's laggy and all that, but it's definitely very fun. But it just needs to be fixed as soon as possible so they can focus on other things. Because come on, you can't put, it's just I want to see other cool stuff and not just try to stabilize the Stripe Battlefield. But however, in the next season, so this is the look for the future, boys. This is so exciting. So in the next Strife season, we promise that you will be seeing some meaningful changes as we will be adding new features like Strat freaking reroll, boys, and allowing equal ranks when finishing in the same round. Holy moly, guacamole. Strat reroll. Now I'm curious how strat rerolls work, but this is huge. And allowing equal ranks when finishing in the same round is even more huge. So that means that if you guys don't understand, so there are ranks. So like whenever you lose out in a strat battlefield match, right, you get first, second, third, fourth. There's always got to be a first, second, third, fourth. Now they are allowing equal ranks. So before, if you guys are on the same round and you guys die on the same round, the person who died sooner will get the lower rank. Now, if you guys both died in the same round, you'll get the same rank. So potentially, you could have 2 first places and 2 second places. Everyone gets points. Isn't that amazing? That is huge. That is freaking huge. And strat reroll is 10 times more huge. I'm curious how they're gonna do this. I'm really curious. Lastly, after we're finished with the new updates that are listed and mentioned above, this is gonna take a while, boys. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna take like nearly. I'm gonna just throw it out there. I think it's gonna be the end of this freaking year that we even like this. In my opinion, I think it's going to take almost nearly that long, like last quarter type stuff. We will also try to add new changes to the existing content, such as Tower Trials. Tower Trials is, I'm telling you, we know that they are data, data, all about the data. And I'm telling you, Tower Trials is probably one of the least played modes of all time. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty freaking sure. Or that or solo raid. Oh man. And at the same time, we will strive preventing the possible issues regarding the game balancing errors in advance by listening more closely to user voices. I'm happy that this is being said and not like because of the data. I'm sorry I had to do it. I'm sorry I had to freaking do it. But now let's kind of go back to my theories, right? So they are removing this thing, 20% stun chance. They are adjusting stuff like MP win hit. So like, what? The $1 million question is, what is this? What is this? So are they simply going to do a level increase? Are they introducing like, the easiest thing is like, oh, people think that they're just gonna increase the levels more, right? I don't think they might add like 5 levels to each hero. Sure, I can see that, but I feel like they should 100% there should be an entirely different new system. And I think it's something, or this is my hopes. It is unpopular opinion. I want like some freaking weapon gacha, like equipment. It's like not like the swords and the whatever. Like I want like gear, like freaking like chest plate, helmet, and things like that. And you like attach it to each character. Man, people would freaking hate it. But I want like weapon gear. I want gear gacha. And on each piece of gear, you guys are like, nah, stop, please. And each piece of gear, you can slot in like a freaking gem, like Path of Exile style or something, like freaking like do links and stuff, and those like links or gems or whatever that you put in those gear, they have these affixes in them, right? They have like the stun, they have the MP in win hit, right? I mean, they have the stun chance, and then you can like put percent stun chance upon normal attack on each piece of gear and attach it to freaking Saras, and then your opponent will never move. Like that's my hope. That is my crazy theory. Anyways, I'm gonna end this one here. This one has been kind of crazy. I know they banned Saras from competitive, and he's gonna come back, and they're probably gonna like nerf him or whatever. We're gonna see where he falls. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about these changes in particular, but most importantly, what do you think the massive new content update is for season 44? Do you think I'm crazy for gear gacha? I probably am. And as a reminder, I do update my hero general tier list every month, so be sure to subscribe and keep up with that one. My next one will include the new Saras, the adjusted Saras, and all the new goodies. And as a last tidbit, what do you think about this freaking art, bro? Shout outs to freaking Lave. Let me know if you guys love this. I mean, in the gameplay videos, this is a patch note video, so you can't see all of it, but let me know if you love it as much as I do. As always, thumbs if you like that, subs if you love it, and I'll see you next one, boys. Later.